Horror video games have been around for a very long time, and there's been a lot of good ones and also a lot of bad ones. But out of all of the very popular horror games like Amnesia, Slenderman, SCP, the most prevalent one out of all of them is most agreeably Five Nights at Freddy's. In Five Nights at Freddy's, you're a night guard working the night shift at a haunted pizzeria where you have to survive till 6 a.m. for 5, but actually 7 nights with these animatronics trying to kill you. So you must check the doors, check the lights, check the cameras, check everything to not get jump scared. A simple premise, but one that blew up with hundreds of YouTubers making gameplay videos, and the game itself spawning many sequels, books, tons of merchandise, a huge fan base, fan art, tons of just shit! And although FNAF's success didn't seem like it was stopping anytime soon, it almost kind of did, and to be honest, the game's pretty much dead. I feel like it was mid-2016 when this started to happen. It was after FNAF World, and maybe even after Sister Location, when people started to not like the FNAF games anymore. They started to realize how repetitive the games were getting, how they weren't scary. At least Sister Location tried something unique with the series, but after the dumpster fire that was FNAF World, people were getting a little tired of the FNAF games. So the game went on hiatus for over a year until a random game came out called FNAF Pizzeria Simulator, and then FNAF Ultimate Custom Night came out, and then FNAF Help Wanted came out, and yada, you can see my point. The games just never stopped, and around when Pizzeria Simulator came out, people were just kinda done with FNAF. The series was pretty much dead at this point, and the entire fan base was just filled with little kids who just played FNAF and made shitty Let's Plays of it. And yes, I know, FNAF's dead, no one likes it, a bunch of kids are in the fan base, they're stupid, I get it. Shut up. It's like as soon as you talk about FNAF, people call you cringy. Anyways, my point is, since FNAF was such an uproaring success, apparently, a lot of fan games started coming up. Most of these fan games are just the same exact thing as FNAF, just with new characters, but some of them are pretty fun, and some of them I actually like better than the actual FNAF games. But yeah, we're gonna be looking over some of the more popular ones. Now I want to get this game out of the way because it's my least favorite and I honestly think it's pretty trash. Five Nights at 39. Now if you've seen anybody play this game or have played it yourself, it's very obvious that this game is a parody of the FNAF series, basically taking a dump on the series and otherwise making fun of it, with such hilarious jokes. I mean, they're pretty freaking funny. Like, look, it's a bunny crying because he's being random and you bonked his nose. Whoa, bunny cursing. That's pretty funny.
God, I need to fucking wake up! Oh, what? Look who's back! The one and only Sam Clinton! The one who walks into people's lives and takes everything away! Well, I'm sorry, mate, I'm fresh out of everything. You fucking asshole!
But yeah, this game is not very funny, and for a FNAF parody, it's my least favorite, and for a couple of reasons, the latter being one of them. Another reason why I don't like this game is because of the way the game looks. Now listen, I get it, right? It's a FNAF parody. I know it's not like supposed to look as good as some other FNAF games because it's a parody, but I don't really think that's that much of a good excuse because the game just looks like shit. First off, the textures look like garbage, and keep in mind I'm playing the 1-year anniversary, and it should probably look better than the first one, when it really doesn't. The animatronics look like crap, they just look like plain PNGs inside of the doorway. And of course, the lens flare is very annoying. I just don't understand. Why is there a lens flare there? There's not even any light. The only light that I can really think of is maybe a light on the ceiling, but if that's the light, then why is the lens flare in the middle of the room? That's not how lens flares work! The game has a bunch of these different locations when you look in the extras setting, but the thing is, they never use these settings. The only camera you can look at is one camera that has a little laptop in it. Why? There's so many possibilities that you can put in this game that you just waste on one single camera. It just doesn't make sense to me. And the final thing that just grinds my gears with this game is the fact that it is very glitchy. Now, I enjoy myself a little bit of difficulty in games, okay? I've played Dark Souls. I know what I'm talking about. I've beat the Ender Dragon in survival. Do you know how hard that is to beat the fucking Ender Dragon? But it's kind of hard to appreciate it when it's just so annoying, and the constant glitches just make it 10 times worse. I think the main reason why I kept dying in this game wasn't even my fault, honestly. First off, the nose bonking is horrendous. Whenever I try and bonk 39's nose, you have to bonk on it at least 10 times. Now, I don't know if this is just the game's settings and it's programmed to only be able to work after 5 seconds of him being there, but then what's the point? He's just draining power, making the game not harder, just more annoying and frustrating because it isn't even your fault, or at least it doesn't seem like it's your fault. And then there's the annoying plush, which honestly I just hate. Not only is his jump scare super annoying and not even funny, but he goes by so fast and he also glitches out, which makes it nearly impossible to get him each time. We just went over a pretty bad FNAF game, but now let's go over to some actual good FNAF games, including Five Nights at the Chum Bucket. In Five Nights at the Chum Bucket, you're in, well, the Chum Bucket, and you have to protect yourself against SpongeBob, who for some reason is frickin' Jack, Patrick, Mr. Krabs, Sandy, Squidward, and whatever the fuck this is. Now, this game is actually a sequel of Five Nights at the Krusty Krab, except I actually couldn't get the Five Nights at Krusty Krab game to work properly, so that's why I'm talking about this one. I'm also talking about this one because it's much better than Five Nights at the Krusty Krab. So not only are the characters scarier, but the actual theme of the game, the look of the game style, everything is just so much better than the original. The gist is you are stuck in the Chum Bucket until somebody eventually saves you, and you have to protect yourself against SpongeBob and Patrick, who are basically the Bonnie and Chica of this game. Then there's Mr. Krabs, who needs the flashlight on his face in order to keep him away, because even if you have both doors closed and you turn the light off, he's gonna smash through that window and fucking strangle you! So you gotta protect yourself with the light. Then there's Squidward, who goes through the vents, and then there's whatever the hell the other characters' names are, I don't care. Since this game was made in Unreal, it looks freaking fantastic, and it's probably the scariest game I've played out of all of the Fnaf Fan Games. I would definitely recommend this game. I think it's really good. The custom night is really hard. The only problem that I had with this game, though, is that for some reason, the game kept crashing on night 6 no matter what I did, which may happen to you. So my suggestion is, I don't know, restart the game. I was still able to get through night 6, luckily, but it wasn't very easy. Alright, I know I just said that Five Nights at the Chum Bucket was the scariest FNAF fan game out of all of them, but if I have to be honest, the scariest out of them all is probably 5 Scary Nights at Shreks Terrifying Swamp of Terror. Holy shit! This game... This game is terrifying. You have to survive in a swamp while Shrek is coming after you, and if Shrek comes in your room, you better hide, or else he'll... Yeah, this game is super scary. Not only that, but it's also very loud, very annoying, and actually hilarious. It basically does what Five Nights at 39 tried to do, but better, because it's actually pretty funny. And unlike with Five Nights at 39's, it's not trying to actually be a serious game. The person who made this game also made another game called Five Nights at the Boss Babies 2. Terror Night or something like that, and the reason why I'm not going over it is because unlike with the Shrek game, I just don't understand this game, because the entire time you have to click on Pennywise, which might I add is very hard and forced me to use a mouse clicker in order for me to actually like survive more than 5 seconds. And you can't run out of oxygen because you're in a pool, yet for some reason I don't know how to check the cameras. It is very confusing, but yeah, the games are pretty funny. I wouldn't actually suggest them because they can be annoying and they aren't actually meant to be played seriously because you can't play them. The next game we're going to be looking at is called Jollibees. Now, Jollibees is actually a reimagining of a game called Jolly, and it's made by the same person. Now, when I played this game, I didn't have very high hopes, but my expectations were pleasantly subverted when I played this game because it is actually way better than I thought it would be. Basically, it's a very similar game to Fnaf. All you have to do is check the cameras, close the vents if absolutely necessary, and check on this girl every now and again. It's a very simple game and I was able to beat it relatively easily. But the main meat and potatoes of this game is the after sequences. After every night, you can walk around in the restaurant instead of just going straight to the exit like I did, and you can play the mini games. These require you to fix certain things or maybe do a certain task without getting jump scared, very similar to Sister Location. I was gonna do most of these, but the problem is some of them are actually really hard and I kept dying over and over again, so I actually didn't do but if you do, then cool. I mean, they are pretty fun and a little scary. This game is way better than the first Jolly or Jolly 2 or Jolly 3 or any of those games, that's for sure. Not only is it scarier, but it's funner, and it's also just more unique and has more of its own style than any of the previous Jolly games. I only have 2 minor complaints. The first one being that the game isn't focused on Jollibees as much as it should be. And I get it, right? Five Nights at Freddy's, it's called Five Nights at Freddy's, but it's mostly focused on characters like Bonnie and Chica and Foxy. But with this game, it's just like the other characters are all original characters while there's just one actual mascot character. And it's just kind of weird seeing these random characters with an actual character. It just kind of throws things off of balance. And Jollibees isn't unique like the other characters. Like for instance, Yum Yum, I think that's his name, he travels through the vents and you have to shine his light on him. While Popo, who also travels through the vents, you can't shine your light on him or else he'll kill you immediately. Or Twirly, who stares through the door and you have to turn off your power in order for her to go away. Those characters all have unique little playsets, except for Jollibee. Instead, what he does is he just looks at your door just like Twirly does. And it kind of just makes things seem kind of unoriginal and bland, because I would have liked it if Jollibees had a special thing. The final game that we're going to be looking at today is called Five Nights at Candy's Remastered. Now, if you've ever seen a Fnaf Fan game, it's probably been this game. Well, not this specific game, but this series. Five Nights at Candy's is a series created by Emil Mako. There's 1, 2, 3, and of course, the one I'm talking about, Remastered. Five Nights at Candy's Remastered puts you in a remastered version of the original game, and I have to say, compared to the original game, this one looks way better. The lighting is way better, the actual textures, character models, everything. It's been updated, there's new secrets now. I'm not gonna spoil them, but it's pretty fun to play this game, and it was probably my favorite out of all of the FNAF games we've played so far. I do only have 2 critiques about the game. The first thing is that the characters have like a little comparison slide in the extras menu where you can see the original one and the new one. And as far as I can tell, the only big difference between the new one and the old one is that the new ones are just brighter. That's the only real difference with the new ones. They're brighter, and I don't know, maybe I guess the textures are a little bit better, but other than that, nothing's really changed, and I feel like the brightness in the game kind of affects the game and makes it a little less scary. But overall, the game is very good. The other critique I have is that the game isn't very scary, and I know that's kind of subjective, but still, I would have liked the game to be a little bit more scary. Even the secret night isn't scary, and probably should be considering what you encounter in that night is pretty freaking spoopy in context. But overall, it's a really well-made game, and I definitely recommend you play it because it's much better than the first, in my opinion. So, yeah, those are just a couple of FNAF games. I didn't go over a lot of them because I tried to go over more recent ones, and it's kind of hard to go over recent ones when the series is dead, so the only new recent ones that have been released are also kind of dead and stupid and don't make sense, but you know, there were some zingers in there, you know. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. It was a little different, a little bit more cringy, a little bit more analysis-y, but you know, I liked it. I thought it was a pretty good video. Make sure to subscribe, okay? Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the very next episode of What's Inside My Dick.